From U.S. News, Justin Trudeau seizes emergency powers to curb protests. They report Prime Minister Trudeau invoked emergency authorities Monday to end demonstrations that have paralyzed Canada's capital and beyond since late last month. But he assured Canadians that he would not call in the military. Quote, "This is about keeping Canadians safe, protecting people's jobs, and restoring confidence in our institutions, blah, blah, blah. We're not suspending fundamental rights or overriding the charter. Yeah. The move comes even as traffic began to creep back to normal Monday at one of the continent's busiest border crossings. The Emergencies Act has rarely been used and would give the federal government extra powers to restore order by ending the demonstrations. That is to say, peaceful protesters who are demanding they be heard by their government will be arrested, will be shut down. And that's it, because the government said so.
Yeah.
No redress of grievances, just force by the authorities. And people are calling it martial law. But if you're not familiar, this is the Great Honkening. Truckers are protesting. They're saying, we don't want these vaccine mandates. Lift them. Trudeau says, shut up. Do as you're told, you pathetic poor. And this is what they do.
Yeah. This is, if you go to D.C. and you go to the National Archives and there's the Constitution, there's the Declaration of Independence, fascinating. It's really cool to see in real person. A little bit off to the side, not centrally prominently located, is a copy of the Magna Carta. 1215, 7 years ago, it should have had a much bigger celebration than it did. I thought Obama dropped the ball. I thought the world dropped the ball. But and I'm going to be nerd for a second. For the first time in the history of mankind, power was ceded to this thing called the law, whereas up till now, power was ceded to other powers. So Ian is the king, but if Tim kills the king, now the power is ceded to Tim. And the nobility of England said, you can't just say you're in charge because you're in charge. There has to be something greater than you, and it is the law. And one of the parts of the Magna Carta is the petition of grievances and habeas corpus, right? And to say you have to be able to bring evidence against me. You can't just say, I have declared that this is unjust, and because I am all power. And we've lived this way for 807 years. And to get little Trudeau to say, this is wrong because I have declared it thusly, is abolishing 9 centuries of what makes civilization. I mean, it really is an affront to humanity as we have known it almost the last century, millennia, because it destroys the rule of law.
Donald Trump did not invoke the Insurrection Act. When they were riding across the country from small towns to big cities, burning down buildings, around 30 people dead, Donald Trump said, I can't do it. You know, he wanted to do it. Tom Cotton said, send in the troops, and Trump would not do it.
Yeah.
Trudeau, seizing emergency powers, promising not to bring in the military, but seizing political power. Why aren't they calling him a fascist?
Why wouldn't Trudeau's cabinet or his advisors tell him as a first act, why don't you find the head trucker and just say, head trucker Steve, why don't you just come to my office and let's talk?
That's too reasonable.
Right?
That's too reasonable. And you would think that Canada, of all places, would want to give the truckers what they want. People in America don't realize how less densely populated it is. They need truckers way more than we do. They have cities few and far between. I really don't understand the logic here.
No.
The logic is Trudeau probably views himself as a better man.
Yeah.
And so when the unclean poors are demanding a seat at the table, he's probably going, oh, at my table. Oh, it's like the Lord Farquaad in Shrek, Get that thing out of here. Yeah. That's what it is. Yeah. He's not going to sit down with lowly truckers. Heavens. Because it would be so easy for him to end this. They're already talking about ending the vaccine mandates. He could just be, they've already talked about saving face. Instead, he's like, what he wants is he wants people to know it's his power.
Yeah.
And he will wield it against you, regardless of your rights. He wants you scared. This is the desperation of the state, mainly in Canada, but we've seen it here in the U.S. in some forms. They're scared that if the people realize they have the power, because government is for, by, and of the people, well, then the people might actually take command and try and vote for things the people want. But the establishment, the uniparty, the powerful elites, the banking interests, the corporate interests that work hand in hand across country lines, Oh, they can't have that.
I don't know if Her Majesty's a fan of your show. I hope she is. But she does have the authority to dismiss her prime ministers who are in her realm. And I kind of wish she would step up and just say, Trudeau, like this is
That would be incredible.
Has she ever done that?
The last time was it hasn't been in a while. It was William IV, so like 18 something. But yes, he did dismiss a prime minister.